At times, the jar would roll across the table with Belinda inside of it. This was hardly the ideal way for a chipmunk to gather her winter's supply of food. With a little persuasion on my part, she allowed me to hold the jar for her as she stuffed her pouches to overflowing. Now and then she would pause, back up out of the jar, and simply look at me with a loving smile. As the summer grew longer, Belinda became more and more affectionate. Because the jar offered her no direct contact with me, she soon preferred instead to vacuum the birdseed right out of my palm. Never once did she scratch me, nor did she ever mistake my finger for a sunflower seed. In fact, everything about her behavior pointed to one thing. She trusted me as one would a dear friend. One morning, Belinda leapt bravely onto my shoulder. From that moment on, this became her favorite place to feed. So deep was her trust in me that she felt perfectly safe with her back turned towards me. Often she would wiggle and squirm until her haunches were tucked snugly under my chin. My affection for this precious creature and hers for me deepened as the summer wore on. "If the jar is your heaven," I told her one day, "then you are one of heaven's angels." After a while, it became clear that Belinda was behaving like a household pet. My whistle brought her rushing out of her burrow and onto my shoulder in a flash. I scratched her behind her ears, I teasingly but gently pulled her tail, and I even sang songs to her, all the while bouncing her up and down according to the rhythm. One day, I became very human indeed and planted a kiss right on her haunches. Obviously puzzled by this new sensation, she paused for a moment, snuggled ever more tightly under my chin, and went right on eating. The fall season comes quite suddenly, and Belinda stayed longer and longer in her burrow. Did you know that chipmunks build luxurious homes for themselves? There is a nesting chamber, 2 or 3 storage chambers, and as many as 8 smaller rooms. And that is not all. Since they construct tunnels that can actually reach 100 feet in length, chipmunks also build galleries along the way called side pockets. Belinda, then, was living in an underground mansion, one that is the envy of all other creatures. As I packed my car for my return to New York, I felt comforted to know that Belinda would be safe and warm throughout the winter. I knew one other thing, too. She had the biggest supply of birdseed in all of chipmunkdom. As I entered the car to leave, Belinda suddenly leapt out of one of her holes. I could tell by her expression that she sensed my departure and simply wanted to send a farewell chirp. "Be a good girl," I told her, "and I promise to return next summer with a fresh supply of birdseed. Take care of yourself, dear friend. I'll think of you often." As the car rolled out of the driveway, Belinda flashed me the saddest smile and disappeared into the earth. I have seen Belinda for 4 summers now, and I have also met her children. They have watched their mother carefully and are already imitating her ways. Judging from the number of newly dug holes springing up all around the house, I believe that I will have a chipmunk family forever.